Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now I'm going to teach you how to factor a trinomial. Let's go back and think about expanding a trinomial. Let me give you this question. X plus 5, x plus 2 equals, so x plus 5 times x plus 2. So these are two binomials. You with me, Fernanda? So I've got two binomials that are being multiplied together. Watch how this happens. X times x is x squared. X times 2 is 2x. This is 5x. And this is 10. These then go together to give you a final answer of x squared plus 7x plus 10. Now look at this for a minute. Everybody watch this. What we have here is we want to be able to go from this back to this. We need to know that every single trinomial is going to be factored into two sets of brackets. So one trinomial gets factored into two binomials. Can't see what I'm writing. So one trinomial always gets factored into two binomials. Fair enough? What goes at the beginning of each one of these? Well, if I have an x squared here, what's at the beginning of each of the binomials? An x. Does that make sense so far? So every single trinomial is going to factor into two binomials. That's the first thing. And if I have x squared at the front here, I have x here and x here. We good? Now the question is, what goes here and what goes here? The 5 and the 2. Well, take a look at where the 5 and the 2 are. Do you see the 5 and the 2 here? Do you see the 5 plus 2 gives 7? Do you see that 5 times 2 gives 10? So if I was to look at this trinomial and say that I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to give 10 and add to give 7, the answers would be 2 and 5, right? Guess what? And it would be plus 2 and plus 5, wouldn't it? Guess what? Is that the same as what I have over here? It is, isn't it? Now the order doesn't matter. I could have written it like this. But that's how you factor a trinomial. So let's look at another example. Let's look at x plus 6 and x minus 3. So this is two binomials being multiplied. We know that this is going to become x squared minus 3x plus 6x minus 18, which is going to become x squared plus 3x minus 18. Now, we know that if we factor this to go back, it must be a bracket times a bracket. It must be two binomials. That's how we factor a trinomial. Does that make sense? What needs to go at the front of both of those brackets? An x. So now the question is, what numbers go here? Or in other words, how do we get those numbers? Well, let's look at where those numbers are. Do you see that this is positive 6 and added to negative 3? And do you see that this is negative 3 times positive 6? So if I was to set up my chart and look for two numbers that multiply to give 18, but add to give 3, I would get 6 and 3, negative. See these two numbers? Plus 6. Negative 3. Is that the same as what I had up here? So that's how we factor a trinomial. So, on your sheet, flip over to this page, factor the following trinomials. I'll give you a chance to get set up and I'll be right back.